Waking up to a banking app that flashes $1 million available isn't fantasy. It's the final stop on a four-leg road trip that actually starts with the scrappiest stretch. Scraping together the first 10 grand. Hey there, stick with me for a sec. Because once you see where the pain points really are, the whole map to financial freedom snaps into focus. Most US adults never even hit that ignition point. Bankrate's February 2025 survey found that 19% have no emergency savings at all, and 33% owe more on credit cards than they have in the bank. That's why the median household net worth assets minus debts was still only about $193,000 in 2022, according to the Federal Reserve. When you realize how low that bar sits, the first milestone, saving $10,000, stops feeling small and starts looking like a launch pad. Milestone 1. $0 to $10,000. Your only job here is to create breathing room. Automate transfers the minute your paycheck lands and park that cash in a high-yield savings account. Rates hover around 4% as I record this, safely outpacing the 2.9% inflation we saw in 2024. If the math still doesn't close, add a micro side hustle. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says 4.3% of U.S. workers already classify their gig as contingent, short-term, or freelance. So you're not weird for delivering groceries after hours? You're normalizing cash flow. Stack every extra dollar until you've hit 10K. Why? Because once you cross that line, you can survive a flat tire, a doctor's bill, even a sudden layoff without swiping a 24% APR card. Milestone 2, $10,000 to $100,000. Now the game tilts from the defense to offense. The moment the emergency fund sits solid, send new dollars to a retirement plan that offers a match. 61% of workplace plans now auto-enroll employees, up from 36% a decade ago, according to Vanguard's 2024 data. Take the hint. Historically, the S&P 500 has kicked out a little over 10% a year before inflation. Even a plain vanilla index fund compounds quicker than most side businesses. At that clip, every matched fee-trimmed contribution slices months off the journey to six figures. Compounding is sneaky. JP Morgan's 2025 Guide to Retirement shows that hitting $100,000 early does more heavy lifting than anything you do later. Money saved in your 20s could double twice before you're 50. Yet the average 30-something's 401k still sits at only about $67,000, Fidelity says, while Gen Z workers average just $13,600. Close that gap by pushing your contribution toward 15% of pay. Your future self won't remember the streaming subscription you canceled, but they'll notice an extra $30,000 riding the market. Milestone 3, $100,000 to $500,000. $500,000 sounds huge until you realize you've already built the engine. Now the goal is scale and tax efficiency. For most people, that means maxing pre-tax space. The IRS just bumped the 401k elective deferral limit to $23,500 for 2025. If you can't hit the ceiling, allocate raises. Every 2% bump in salary becomes a 2% bump in savings before lifestyle creep notices. Keep an eye on costs too. Index equity ETFs now average only 0.15% in annual fees versus 0.4% for typical stock funds. That 0.25% you don't pay a manager compounds right back into your pocket. By the way, if you're itching to diversify, real estate or a simple brokerage account works. Just remember that every new asset class is a side project. The milestone is net worth, not number of toys. Milestone 4, $500,000 to $1 million. Crossing the final bridge is 70% patience and 30% risk management. At $500,000, one average market year could add $50,000 without another dime of deposits. But a bad year could vaporize the same amount, so you spread bets. Global index funds, maybe a rental, plenty of cash for short-term goals. Keep feeding the plan automatically. Dollar cost averaging cushions the bumps and keeps your emotions out of the cockpit. Surprisingly, a cool million still doesn't qualify as rich in the public imagination. A 2024 Charles Schwab survey says Americans now peg truly wealthy at $2.5 million, nearly triple the median net worth. That's fine. Your goal isn't bragging rights, it's freedom. Sleeping at night, walking away from a toxic job, or funding a passion project without begging investors. Why the road matters today. Inflation may have cooled, but prices are still sticky. Nearly 37% of adults tapped emergency savings last year, Bankrate reports, and 26% pulled at least $1,000. Meanwhile, fee wars and higher 401k caps have tilted the board in your favor, if you act. Median net worth jumped 37% from 2019 to 2022, largely because people who owned assets let markets work for them. Owning assets is the whole point of the roadmap, so map your own ETA. If you're starting from zero, target that first $10K in the next 12 months. If you're sitting on $80,000, crank contributions and let compounding handle the rest. And if you've already cleared $500K, your new superpower is staying the course while everyone else panics. One quick question before you click away. Which milestone feels hardest for you right now, and why? Drop it in the comments. Your struggle could be someone else's missing piece of the puzzle. When evening comes and you peek at your balance, remember, every milestone you pass accelerates the next one. Keep the engine running, keep the costs low, and enjoy the ride.